Well, hello. I'm Nicole Danielle.
I'm Megan Lee, and this is Romance on the Rocks, where two bookish biddies imbibe and talk about the romance novels that they have been reading. So, what have you made for yourself tonight, Nicole? Speaking of imbibing,
Yes, I made a drink called the Shameless Tart to go with my tart book.
your book is called Tart.
Yes.
Nice.
So the Shameless Tart, and it has vodka, amaretto, lemon juice, maple syrup, and muddled frozen blackberries.
It's beautiful. It really is. Like, from what I can see, very pretty.
It's definitely on the sweet side, very dessert-like.
Sounds good, though.
And what are you drinking this week?
All right, so I'm going to hold up my book for you so you can see. It is I Think I'm in Love with an Alien, but check out that bright green, little green man title that it's got going on there.
Yeah.
And so I tried to get my drink to match.
And I think you got it pretty spot on in terms of the color.
I think I did a pretty good job. My drink is some Midori, vodka, cucumber Gatorade, and a little bit of lime and seltzer water. So it's kind of melon and melon. It's really good.
Is it quite refreshing?
Yeah, I could see this being a nice summer beverage. I'm calling it the Rellos because the Space Con that takes place in my book is in Rellos, Utah. So cheers with my little green man, the Rellos.
Okay.
Yum. All right, so you informed me after I said, I don't remember who goes first, that I went first last time. So now it is your turn.
Yep. So, as mentioned, my book this week is Tart by Lauren Dane. This was my first throuple book for the podcast. So a little bit about the author first. Dane is a New York Times and USA Today bestselling author. She's written several books across multiple romance subgenres, including contemporary, paranormal, sci-fi future, and urban fantasy. Tart is part of her Delicious series, which covers 4 female friends. This one was published in 2012. The genre is a why choose, reverse harem, contemporary romance, friends to lovers. The main characters are Juliet Lamprey, owner of a successful bakery called Tart. She is a straight female. Then there is Gideon Carter, her childhood friend, who's recently returned home to help take care of his grandpa's farm. He is bisexual. Calvin Cal Whaley is also a childhood friend and Juliet's bestie. He's a local lawyer. He gave Juliet her first kiss when they were teens, but they've always kept things platonic since then for one reason or another, and he is also bisexual. All right, the plot line. Gideon is settling back into life in town. He catches up with Juliet when she visits his granddad's farm to work out a deal for fresh produce for the bakery, kind of, farm to table type action.
Sure.
Which this was published in 2012, so that was like pretty up and coming thought process for the farm to table action, I think. So Gideon and Juliet hit it off, and there's great chemistry, and they start dating. Well, Cal decides he doesn't like that. And he sees, there's no other way for me to put it.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. Cal decides he doesn't like that. And he sees how serious things are getting between Juliet and Gideon. So he decides he's going to insert himself into the situation because he doesn't want to miss his chance with Juliet. How does he do that, you might ask, Megan?
How does he do that, Nicole?
By kissing Juliet in the alley behind her bakery and telling her he's not going to back down because I wanted you first, quote.
Okay.
You can tell by the tone of my voice how impressed I am with that move.
Hey, if you see something, say something. So he done said it.
Right. Well, Juliet is not having it. She tells Cal he's had plenty of chances and she's not going to stop dating Gideon because she really likes him. Then she tells Cal she's going to go tell Gideon about the kiss because they have an honest relationship that involves communication.
Excellent.
Novel concept. Yes,
yep,
right?
I love it.
Yep. Cal insists on tagging along. Great, Cal. What? I'm just like, dude.
Okay. I could see it from the perspective of he is owning what happened and is not afraid to face it. So there's at least that, like, he's not running away and hiding. He's like,
Sure.
yeah, I'm going to come along because I'm cool and honest about my behavior as well. So, maybe that's not a bad thing.
That was not his motivation at all, but yeah, that was not his motivation.
Clearly didn't read the book.
Gideon, to his credit, suggests that the three of them try being in a relationship together because he isn't going to back down either. And he knows how close Cal and Juliet are in terms of being best friends. And he's like, I'm not going to tell you guys can't hang out, but clearly there's some lingering feelings. Let's just go ahead and explore that as a throuple ship. So he thinks that's the best way for them all to move forward. Juliet struggles with this idea because she doesn't entirely trust Cal based on his previous relationships. And she has this fear that the two guys will end up deciding they want to be in their own relationship and leave her behind. And you and I were joking about that when I was teasing the book before. But
I get it, though. Like, that's the thing, is any sort of relationship is difficult. When you start adding more factors, it just becomes more difficult because it's more communication and just more layers of emotion that can happen. So, I mean...
Yeah, and at that point, all she really wants is to just be with Gideon. So she's the one who's going to be totally shit out of luck if she takes the gamble for the threesome and it doesn't work out, you know?
But again, when things don't work out, you look at it and think, well, if it didn't work out because of this, there would have been many other reasons that it probably wouldn't have worked. So...
Yeah, I don't think she was having that thought process, but sure.
I'm sure she wasn't. And I understand that, feeling that little bit of threat where you just don't know. I mean, this is a big risk for everybody involved, really.
Yeah. Juliet also struggles with the fact that she herself has never been in a serious relationship. She just, casually dated. But both Gideon and Cal have been in more serious relationships. So she worries about whether she'll be able to contribute properly to the whole throuple ship thing. Because she's like, y'all have done this before. I have not. So another challenge in all of this stems from Juliet's family, who, frankly, are all a bunch of assholes in one form or another. For example, her dad left their family when she was young because he cheated on her mom and divorced her to marry a girl that is the same age as Juliet.
Ouch.
Creepy.
Yeah.
She's constantly caught in the middle of various family relationships and has to play go-between. And then her brother is a total dick to her when she tells him she's dating two guys. He basically cuts her out of his life and won't even let her see or talk to her nephews anymore, just because he thinks she's a horrible person now, even though she's never been a horrible person. It's really shitty.
No, people make a lot of snap judgments when they hear about alternate types of relationships, and a lot of it is so off base and so strange, as I well know.
Also, the back cover of this book is pretty misleading, and this is not the first time you and I have encountered this with book covers. It says, when Jules must suddenly leave town, she wonders if she'll have a choice to make when she returns. Nope. That's not at all what happens. At all. Her stepmom calls her and tells her her dad had a stroke and is in the hospital, and she goes to see him at the stepmom's request. And both the guys support her and follow her there. There's no questions about their relationships. Juliet basically just determines that she has to start standing up for herself to her family, and that her found family of the guys and her friends are more important than her real family. But that there's no question about if she'll have something to return to. I'm like, this makes no sense.
Yeah.
So spice level, Megan, I'm putting this one at a habanero.
Oh, you got pretty spicy there.
Mm-hmm. Things I loved. I love a devil's three-way, aka why choose, aka reverse harem. So I was excited to read this one, and there's more than one relationship like this in the book. So that was fun.
Okay. Cool.
I appreciated that these characters are full-grown adult people. They're all in their early to mid-30s, and it's refreshing to not read about 18-year-old virgins. Cough, cough. I have a ton of fun quotes. I think you will enjoy a few of them. First quote, "It's not like it has to be all double penetration all the time or anything." Or any, she shuddered. That seems sticky and messy and not entirely pleasant for the person who is being stuffed full of cock. I was like, that is a realistic thought process.
Oh, all right.
Mm-hmm.
I can see why you went with habanero.
That quote was from Juliet. This quote is from Gideon. "I find the older I get, the better able I am to accept that my sexual identity isn't so easy to put into labeled slots. I like who I like."
Yeah. Preach.
And then this next and final quote is from Gideon's grandpa, Patrick. "I'm an old man, Calvin. I don't bother to beat around the bush. I don't much care for judging what people get up to in the bedroom, long as everyone there is on board. But I can see your heart. You wear it on your sleeve. You love my grandson, and he loves you right back, and her too. So what difference does it make to me that there's 3 of you instead of 2, or that 2 of you have the same equipment? I'm going to die soon enough. I don't need to carry anyone else's choices. I just need to love my family."
That's beautiful.
I was like, Grandpa is a wise man.
Yeah, I love that. Very nice.
I had a fun anatomy reference in this book.
Oh, bring it. What do you got?
We are referring to the hoo-ha as her gate.
I love it. I love that so much. It's like keymaster and gatekeeper.
Gatekeeper, yes. There also was actual references of hoo-ha, although I don't think it was spelled correctly, but I knew what it was.
You and I spell it differently, so
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I think there are probably multiple ways to refer to your hoo-ha.
Probably. My challenges for this book, the dialogue wasn't great for me, and I don't know that I was vibing with Dane's writing style, but I certainly think other readers might appreciate her style. Cal, I don't like him at all. He says shit like, "She was mine long before you blew back into town and stole her." I'm like, you can't steal something that's not yours. The fact that Cal only decided to make a move on her once he saw how happy she was with someone else is absolutely shit-tastic in my book. And he went after her pretty aggressively. He's seriously lucky that Gideon is such a cool, nice dude, because I was like, Cal, man, you're a dick.
I wish that I had Jesse's girl.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of vibe. Yeah, okay.
I also didn't love that Juliet and Cal's other friends were encouraging him to go after her when they also saw. And she told them how happy she was with Gideon. I'm like, what the fuck? Why are y'all trying to throw a wrench in that? She's happy. Things are going great. Y'all know each other from childhood. Why are we fucking around with this?
Well, she knows where she wants the wrenches, and she doesn't necessarily want 2 of them at once, but she'll figure that out.
In my opinion, Cal had his chance, and he's a douche. And while I love a good white shoes, I would never choose Cal because he's a selfish prick. At no point does he have the thought process of, hey, what's best for Jules? Or what does Jules truly want? Or what would make Jules happy? Nope, he's like, you're mine. I want you now. I've got to have you. And I'm not backing down no matter what you say or feel. Bye-bye, Cal. I'm sticking with Gideon.
So as a person who I know gets very invested in the future of your characters
Yes.
that you are reading about, do you feel like by the end of the book, the 3 of them would be able to move forward as a throuple and thrive and survive? Or do you feel like at some point in time, the fact that Cal's aura early gave off that kind of energy that eventually there would be issues and maybe the throuple would fall apart?
I can see them being a successful long-term throuple. I do have concerns in the back of my mind, though. Cal is going to have to be mindful of his selfishness, and it's going to have to be something they're all cognizant of and work together on.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, Gideon is such a chill, mellow dude, and once Juliet got through the things that she was concerned about, she was fine. She was loving life, enjoying the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think they have the potential to be successful as long as Cal doesn't fuck it up.
All right.
So my final thoughts on this book. If you like a why choose romance and some steamy throuple reads, you may enjoy this book. There are scenes that will please a variety of folks, including male on male, male female, and male female. So there's something for everybody. It was like a little smorgasbord of scenes. So, and that is my book for the week.
Very nice.
How about you? I'm excited to hear about your alien romp.
I enjoyed this book immensely. The title is I Think I'm in Love with an Alien by Anna Aguirre. It's published in 2025, so it is a newbie. It's a brand new kid. And it's got fun cover art. It looks like she's hugging a pretty dragon, more so than necessarily an alien. But I mean, who's to say aliens can't look like pretty dragons? The premise. Our main gal is Jeanette Hammond. She goes by Jen for short. And she's kind of a nerdy, dorky, late 20-something who teaches at a local college. But she wishes that she could have pursued her dream job in astronomy. She's always been fascinated with the possibility of alien life and the wonders of the universe. Her closest friends are a group that she met online. She met them in a gaming forum for Aliens Among Us. And this group has grown pretty close in the last year or so. And they are finally going to meet up in person at SpaceCon, which has been held for decades in this small town called Rellos, Utah. And Jen is beyond excited because she really doesn't have any in real life friends. And so she's hoping that this gathering will cement these online friendships into something that's more like the real deal. So she doesn't have to keep qualifying it and be like, my online friend so-and-so. So she's been super crushing also on one of the other group members. His online handle is Seeker, which is short for Thrill Seeker. And in real life, his name is Tamzir, which he goes by Tam for short. We learn pretty early on that Tam is actually an alien stranded on Earth. He was abandoned about a year ago by the tour company that was overseeing his interstellar vacation. They just didn't come back to pick him up. He was at the spot where they were supposed to get him and they just didn't show. So he's been stuck with no way to communicate back to his family and no way to leave Earth. He's been making the best of it, but he's incredibly lonely. And so for him, the online friends have also been a huge lifeline. The nice thing about going to an alien convention to meet up with these friends is that it'll be easier to blend in.
I suppose.
Initially, when they meet, I felt like there was a lot of awkwardness between Jen and Tam because of Tam's overall composure and facial expressions, which is understandable because Tam is not from Earth, so he doesn't necessarily understand all of the common phrases or things that we're referencing. Also, all of the communication up until this point has been written, so I'm sure it was much easier to slow down, research what somebody was saying to you, give a proper response. So now we're in person, right? So that makes it a little bit more awkward. I felt like Tam's character was pretty autistically coded. It felt like somebody who didn't necessarily understand other people's facial expressions, and the way he came across felt very autistic. To quote Tam, sometimes I don't get humor that's obvious to other people. And I'm like, yeah. So as they go through this SpaceCon, this group of friends, you can tell that they are really going to gel. It's nice. It's a good rapport between all of them, and to see their personalities go from the online to the real world. And what was really fun about the way Miss Aguirre wrote the book is she would kind of go back and forth between previous conversations in their chat room to what was currently happening. So you'd bounce back and forth between dates and kind of see how previous interactions then led them to where they were today. There were definitely some things that I felt like I saw coming, but they didn't necessarily appear in the way I expected, which is fun because I don't like already knowing what's going to happen in a book. So I could see where I was like, oh, this is totally going to happen. And then when the thing happened, it didn't quite happen the way I thought, which was fun. And I like that.
Okay.
Tam eventually confesses to Jen that he is an alien and shows her his true self because he's been wearing this kind of piece of tech that almost gives him an illusion. So most people don't see him as an alien, but what made it difficult was everybody sees him in a different way. People just see what they expect to see. So that was really interesting because it could cause some major issues. But once he was able to confess to her who he was, he didn't have to wear that screen. And I think that also was helpful because that screen was also making it difficult to read facial expressions and things like that.
Sure.
So I'm not going to go into too much more because there's a lot that happens in this book that was really fun and funny and great. And so if you are looking for a fun alien romp, I think this would be a good book for you. I do have a few fun quotes that I will read.
Yes.
Jen says very early on, "Why romance humans when I can experience the glorious fantasy of hooking up with a sexy purple person with 3 eyes and head tails?" Basically, she was talking about, like, why would she read normal books when she could read fantasy
Sure.
types of books?
Yeah.
I felt like I could identify with Jen quite a bit in this book. There was a lot about her personal sexuality that really spoke to me.
Okay.
And I was like, preach. It's one of the first times I've had a book in my hands where I was like, yes, this is how I go through life.
Yeah.
And why probably a lot of these other books where I'm like, nah, not my kind of thing. You know?
Yeah.
So this is a quote. "Looks are secondary to me since I don't experience visual attraction. Sure, I'm aware when people are attractive, but I admire them in the same way I do a painting or a sculpture." And I was like, yes, I'm not looking and being like, ooh, yum. I'm just being like, oh my gosh, so beautiful and I appreciate it. And just like when I'm at an art museum, I have to be really careful to not touch things when I'm not supposed to. So hold my hands back because I really want to touch that arm because it's so pretty. Like that. Yeah. I loved that. She uses the phrase hot take in this book, and I think you will appreciate what her hot take is, Nicole. You ready for this?
Yeah, bring it.
Hot take. Beef Wellington is corn dogs for snobs.
Yeah, I like it. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I thought that was great. Speaking about this author being just funny, one of the people she references as a famous person is somebody called Owen Lusk. So it was very clearly referencing Elon Musk. And then and then later on she says about Owen Lusk, "Lusk is a grifter. He earns money by bullshitting people and getting them to fund his pipe dreams. I swear his companies are like a shell game with funds being moved around so he looks more successful than he is." It's like, yeah. Yeah, there's plenty of other quotes, but I'm just going to go for this one last one here. And the quote is, "Kevin!" And the reason I bring that up is there's a point in time where all the friends meet up at another one of their properties. One of her online friends has this kind of remote farmish thing and has chickens and a rooster. And the rooster's name is Kevin. And as the book goes on, everybody gets more and more obsessed with this rooster. And just out of nowhere, they'll be like, "How's Kevin? What's Kevin doing?" And nobody's even met the rooster yet. They just are super obsessed with the fact that their friend even has this rooster. And I found that comically fantastic as the book went on, that they all just kept getting obsessed with this one rooster.
Okay.
Anyway. I know that's silly, but I loved it. In general, I just really appreciated this book. I loved it. I had a fun time reading it. It was an easy read. Poblano at best. There's some touchy moments, but nothing super big or full of any words that I need to bring up. There were a few things that I felt like were little plot lines or questions I would ask just to kind of satisfy my own curiosity, but nothing that made me think that I wouldn't want to read something by Anna Gary again. And yeah, that's what I've got. I loved it. Had a good time. Highly recommend.
Any sense? In mine, Gideon thought that Juliet smelled like pears and cinnamon.
Very nice. This is one of the scents, but it's not related to either one of the main characters. I still highlighted it though because it was so specific. And this was when they were at SpaceCon and there was a presentation, like an actor who had been in some kind of show that they had all watched. So they went to this presentation that the actor was doing, and later on they went to go get autographs and, meet him. Wow. Colin smells. Not in a good way either. It's fermented cocktail of booze and old sweat with just a whisper of baby wipes, as if he made a half-hearted attempt to wipe his pits before he showed up. I was like, that's incredibly specific and unpleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So that's what I got for scents. I know there were more, but I'm not seeing my highlights right now.
Yeah. How about Booby Prize?
Oh, you've got to win this one for sure, because mine was pretty damn late in the book. The first time I saw it, and I could have missed it, so if anybody else has read this book and can tell me otherwise, but I've got page 234.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Carefully, I shape the contours of her, then venture to the swell of her breasts. Soft. So very soft.
Okay.
That's what I got.
Mine appeared on page 22. His gaze moved back to Jules, and once he'd caught her attention, his mouth slowly curved up into a smile so naughty, her nipples got hard.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you won that.
Well, it's no page 1, but...
It isn't.
No.
Page 1, paragraph 3.
So what do you have coming up on the next episode of the podcast, Megan?
I have a book called Savannah Blues by Mary Kay Andrews. I got this as a discard from a local library. Landing a catch like Talmadge Evans III got Eloise Wheezy Foley a jewel of a townhouse in Savannah's historic district. Divorcing Tal got her exiled to the backyard carriage house, where she has launched a spite fest with Tal's new fiancé, the elegant Caroline DeSantos. An antiques picker, Wheezy combs Savannah's steamy back alleys and garage sales for treasures when she's not dealing with her loopy relatives or her hunky ex-boyfriend. But an unauthorized sneak preview at a sale lands Wheezy smack in the middle of a magnolia-scented murder, mayhem, and more. Dirty deals simmer all around her, just as her relationship with the hottest chef in town heats up, and she finds out how delicious love can be the second time around. Savannah Blues.
Okay. I have A Lady's Guide to Mischief and Mayhem by Amanda Collins. The widowed Lady Catherine Bascom has little use for the rules of society. Instead, she engages in such vulgar activities as managing the London Gazette and writing about crimes against women. But when her latest article leads to a suspicious arrest, the attractive detective in charge of the case is incensed that she's interfered with his investigation. Only before Kate can make amends, she stumbles, quite literally, upon another murder entirely. Detective Inspector Andrew Eversham is appalled that Kate is entangled in one of his cases again. Yet, when he asks her to kindly keep away, Kate offers a bargain. She'll refrain from writing about the case if he allows her to study his methods. Before long, Eversham can't deny his attraction to both her beauty and brains. But with a killer lurking in the shadows, will they learn to trust their instincts, each other, and the undeniable passion that is blossoming between them before it's too late.
Well, let's hope.
Right. I don't usually go for murder mysteries, but this one sounded like a fun romp.
The fact that we both have murder and mayhem is kind of fun. That's a good match. I don't know if I realized that when we first picked these numbers.
I did not either, but here we are.
There we go. Murder. Oh, Lordy. All right. That all we got today?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then thank you for joining us for Romance on the Rocks. Please like, subscribe, and follow. And if you are a hopelessly romantic bookish biddy like us, think about giving us a review on Apple iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, all of the other places I can never remember to say, wherever you catch your podcasts. And until next time, just know that your support truly means the world to us. Stay safe and know that you are loved.